Hey guys, it's Panda here again, and today I'm going to go over the first SG I ever got. It's going to be this one here. It is the Epiphone SG Special, which I have done quite a few upgrades to it, as you can see. And yes, it is a special. It's got one on neck. The thing about this one here is I've upgraded it with the Grover tuners that I got out of my Les Paul, which I have not done a video on yet. I upgraded the nut to a Graphtec Tusk nut, so it does have better stability than it did. I also took the pickups that were in my Les Paul, which are the Epiphone Pro Buckers, and I put in here. The tailpiece is the stock tailpiece. I have not changed that out yet, or I really don't plan on it. I did get a pre-wired harness for this to put into it. So they do have full-size 500K pots in here, and on top of that, the switch does just fine. I was going to move the switch from right here up, but the thing is the hole was too big for me to do that, so I just left the switch here, and I just kind of moved it around a little bit and make it work. But overall, it does sound pretty good, and I'm pretty sure you're probably wondering about that. So let's go ahead and get started on that. I've got it on a high gain setting already. We'll start there first, and I want to start with the neck. Alright, let's go to the bridge. Middle. Sounds pretty good for what it is. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and switch it to a nice clean sound, and I'll be right back with that. Alright, again we're going to start off on the neck pickup, and I'm going to play something a little different. Let's see. Alright, let's go to the bridge. Again, same opening to a song. Sounds pretty damn good, honestly. For what this guitar really is just upgraded from spare parts, mostly. Overall, about the only issue I had with it from stock form, honestly, it had quite a few issues in stock form. One of them being the tuners that had in it were terrible. That's why I put the Grovers in it. It had the cheap, it just had some cheap ass tuners in there that weren't no good for nobody. The nut that was in it, it had just your standard plastic nut. For a $200 guitar, I'd expect something a little better, at least for a nut. The tuners, I could understand, but the nut, you can do a little better on that. But let's see. The pickups that I had in here were also kind of terrible. Like, they made decent noise, but they weren't good. It sounded like it had more of a wet blanket over it than it does now. Right now it just sounds like somebody's got something kind of covering it, but it's not bad. It sounds okay for what it is. But then again, I'm not a big fan of Alnico pickups. Some of them do sound amazing, but not all of them. The Pro Buckers are definitely some of the better ones. Now, putting the harness in here, I did have to drill holes into the guitar itself to get this to fit. So there was that. I did shield everything on the inside, but that was just to try to help keep it from having any string noise, which it had some, but not much of a buzz to it. That kind of took the rest of the buzz that I had out of it. So it fixed quite a few issues I had with it. Could I make it better? Yes. There's still plenty of room to grow on this guitar. One of them that I could technically do is take these pickups back out, and I could take a router and go inside and make it where they actually move, because right now they are kind of tight in there. This one, the bridge moves a very tiny bit, but not much. It's almost like they're hard mounted into it. It's not the best job I've done, but considering the tools I had and knowing that I was making this with spare parts, it came out okay. One of the big problems I had as far as the neck is, even though it's not the worst neck in the world, I had to sand it down quite a bit to get it where it wasn't feeling so chunky, because this was definitely a very chunky neck. But with a little bit of sandpaper and some time and going over it a couple times, it did finally get smoothed out enough to where it didn't feel like it was grabbing my hand and I wasn't grabbing a baseball bat to try to play a guitar. So there's that too. The strap buttons on the back here is also something that you want to be careful about. If you're not careful and you're wearing like a button-up shirt, it can easily grab it. but I'm pretty sure anybody that's got any SG can also attest to that. And it's not just this one, it's all of them. That's why I'm not too sure why they put the strap button there. I prefer them to put it on the back of, like, on the side, on the back, or something up here on the horn. Even though it would have took a little bit away from the aesthetics, it still would have functioned much better than where they got it. But I know it sounds like I'm nitpicking, but it's a good guitar for the money. Would I recommend it over some of the other $200 options that you got now? Not really. Much. I'll tell you to save your money and get the, if you want an Epiphone SG. Personally, I would recommend you get a G400 if you can afford it. Kind of like the red one I got. It is a much better guitar than this. Like, it just, most of the issues I have with this one are taken care of in that. Other than, let's say, the pickups and the bridge. But overall, between both of them, the bridge is a bit better on the G400. And another thing about it, if you're going to try to be a little cheaper on that, and you want a brand new guitar, if you want a brand new Epiphone, I would advise you to get the Muse, the SG Muse, over that. Yeah, it's like an extra $200, but it's also a much better guitar than this. Plus, you get a split cord, so you're basically kind of getting like a couple different options within one guitar. And you can always get a pick guard put on it if you wanted to. I don't see why you would want to, but it is what it is. And honestly, that is my advice. If you're going to get an SG, do not cheap out and get the $200 SGs. Unless you're just planning on doing a hell of a lot of mods to one anyway. And even then, I would recommend you save a little bit of money. But if this is going to be something that you want to get, and it's going to be your first guitar, I would recommend you to find something a little cheaper if you're not sure you want to stick with it. Or you could just get one, and because they do carry some of their value, you'll probably get half your money back if you don't like it, and somebody else will buy it. But that's besides the point. The point is, if you want a guitar that you really want to keep, that's not going to be one of them. This is going to be one, okay, it's going to hold me over until I get a little better at it, and then I want to upgrade to something different. Because even with everything I've done, and you can see I got this bridge sitting as low as it can possibly get, and the strings are still a mile high on this damn thing. That's the downside to it. But it isn't the worst guitar. Like, the frets were really good on it for the most part. I haven't had any problems with the frets at all. And the neck has stayed pretty true on it too. That's some pluses to it. And it does look kind of cool. But that's about where the upsides end. Honestly, you do get some decent. Let's see, yeah, they had some 250K pots in there. They were decent, not good, but they were decent. There's a couple ways that you can go with it. Overall, as a beginner's guitar, you could do much worse, but at the same time, you could do much better. And I think that's pretty much all I can tell you on that. And it does sound much, much better than it did before. It's just, you could still use some help. That's being as straightforward and honest as I possibly can. And one thing it does have a somewhat SG style cutout on the back. It's a little smaller, but the plate does what it's supposed to do. That's about the nicest I can be for this damn thing. Another thing is just kind of, just get a better guitar than this. I'm not saying it's a bad one, but it's not good until you put a lot of work into it. After you put a lot of work into it, then it gets good. But unless you want to spend like hours of sanding the back of the neck and replacing basically everything that made this guitar what it was from the factory, it's definitely going to be a thumbs down. And until next time, guys, I'll see you.